at 12. First, the highlight. Lagos Assembly receives Governor Sanwo-Olu's request to present 2026 budget. Nigeria United Nations signs Pact of Elections, Political Stability. And on the foreign scene, Ukraine to get about 100 French-made fighter jets amid war with Russia. And in sports, Nigeria dominates Africa's first-run archery tournament in Cote d'Ivoire. Now the news in details. I am Timmy Dayo Anthony. The Lagos State House of Assembly has confirmed receipt of the request from Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to schedule a substantive date for the presentation of the 2026 appropriation bill. During the plenary session presided over by the Speaker, Mudashiru Obasa, Governor Sanwo-Olu's letter, which outlines a proposed total budget estimate of 4.237 trillion naira for the 2026 fiscal year, was read on the floor of the House by the clerk, Olalekan Onofeko. In his letter, Governor Sanwo-Olu expressed appreciation for the sustained collaboration and constructive engagement between the executive and the Obasa-led Assembly, stressing that the unwavering support of the House had been instrumental in driving the development agenda and delivering key initiatives that continue to improve the quality of life across Lagos State. Governor Sanwo-Olu added that those collective efforts have strengthened governance, enhanced public trust, and ensured steady progress in fulfilling shared mandates to the people of Lagos. Responding, Speaker of the House, Mudashiru Obasa, welcomed the governor's communication and highlighted the responsibility of the Assembly to engage in thorough deliberations. Also at the plenary, the Assembly confirmed the nominations of Mrs. Adeyemo Khadijat as the Executive Secretary, Lagos State Water Regulatory Commission, and Mrs. Adepoju Adebajo as the Chairman, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, LSETF. The Lagos State AIDS Control Agency, LSACA, has now announced the commencement of the statewide free HIV testing services scheduled to hold across all local government areas and local council development areas from now to December 1. This initiative forms a major component of activities lined up for the 2025 World AIDS Day commemoration and reinforces LSACA's commitment to expanding access to HIV testing, promoting early diagnosis, and strengthening linkage to care. The agency aims to close existing testing gaps while deepening community awareness on HIV prevention, management, and stigma reduction. Now, speaking on the upcoming exercise, Chief Executive Officer of LSACA, Folakemi Animashaun, emphasized the critical role of early testing in advancing the state's public health objectives. Animashaun said LSACA, working in collaboration with development partners and community-based organizations, has developed trained counselor testers, adequate testing kits, condoms, and IEC materials to ensure smooth implementation across the state. She further encouraged residents to take advantage of the designated testing points within their local LGCs and LCDAs to access the free, confidential, and non-judgmental services, reaffirming the state government's dedication to improving healthcare access and highlighting ongoing efforts to expand HIV testing and counseling centers. Wife of the president, Oluremi Tinubu, has called on Nigerians to ensure adequate protection for all children against sexual exploitation and abuse. Mrs. Tinubu made the call in Abuja to mark the World Day for the Prevention of and Healing from Child Sexual Exploitation and Sexual Abuse 2025 with a theme, strengthening the protection of children against sexual exploitation and sexual abuse through evidence-based policy making. She urged parents and wider society to prioritize the safety of children and make it a collective responsibility to protect them from any form of sexual abuse. According to her, as a nation, there is a need to ensure that every child grows up free from fear and harm. Mrs. Tinubu called on government agencies, civil society, traditional and religious leaders, parents, and young people to work together to create a protective environment where children can feel safe to thrive. The World Day for Prevention of and Healing from Child Sexual Exploitation and Sexual Abuse is observed annually on November 18. And on to the rest of the stories. Nigeria and the United Nations have signed a new regional partnership for democracy, RPD, a framework aimed at improving elections, addressing political instability, and strengthening democratic institutions across West Africa. Now, speaking at the signing ceremony in Abuja, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Chuga, said the initiative reflects Nigeria's commitment to building a stable and people-driven democratic environment on the continent. He noted that the pact was designed to help African countries to tackle persistent governance challenges, including weak institutions, limited citizen participation, and rising political violence. Tuga explained that despite reforms at national and regional levels, the several African countries still struggle with the credible elections, unconstitutional government changes, and growing influence of misinformation. The Lagos State chapter of the All Progressives Congress (APC) says the party remains committed to a future built on stability, reforms, democratic consolidation, and the new empowerment of Nigerians, and not the fantasy politics of those who lost power, lost public trust. This is contained in a statement signed by spokesperson Sheye Oladejo following the latest declaration of the People's Democratic Party's Bello Turaki to return power to Nigerians. The Lagos APC urged him to first seek legitimacy from his own party members and leaders and unite his platform. And also foreign news, Ukraine will receive up to 100 of France's Rafale F-4 fighter jets, as well as advanced air defense systems in a major deal to boost Kyiv's ability to protect itself against deadly Russian attacks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky hails the move on historic after signing the letter of intent with his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron at an air base near Paris. Deliveries of the Rafale F-4s are planned to be completed by 2035, while the joint production of interceptor drones is starting this year. Financial details are yet to be worked out, but reports says France plans to attract EU financing and also access frozen Russian assets, a controversial move that has split the 27-member bloc. Russia has in recent months increased its drone and missile attack on Ukraine, targeting energy and rail infrastructure and causing massive blackouts across the country. And now to sports. Nigeria delivered a commanding performance at the first ever run archery tournament in Africa, making a bold statement on the continental stage and showcasing the nation's growing strength in Côte d'Ivoire. The historic competition, held at the Palace des Sports de Chetville, Abidjan, brought together athletes from across West Africa for a high-energy display of endurance, precision, and speed. Nigeria's representative from Zen Archery Club, Lagos, emerged as the standout performance, sweeping gold medals in both individual and team events. Run archery, a dynamic hybrid sport combining competitive running with archery marksmanship, is rapidly expanding globally, and Nigeria's medal sweep in Abidjan highlights the country's potential to lead in Africa. Now, just before we go, always check your mirrors before changing lanes or making a U-turn. Blind spots can hide approaching vehicle or motorcycles. You can follow us and like all our social media platforms. X at Traffic Radio 961. Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 961 FM. Instagram is Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch a news and program live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. Or visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. You can also listen to Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM live on My Lagos app for timely update. And did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration completed and inaugurated Mother and Child Center, Badagry? You can get more details on Lagos State Government's website. And now to end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Lagos State House of Assembly has confirmed receipt of the request from Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to schedule a substantive date for the presentation of 2026 appropriation bill. Nigeria and the United Nations have signed a new regional partnership for democracy, PRPD, a framework aimed at improving elections, addressing political instability, and strengthening democratic institutions across West Africa. We also told you that Ukraine will receive up to 100 of France's Rafale F-4 fighter jets, as well as advanced air defense systems, in a major deal to boost Kyiv's ability to protect itself against deadly Russian attacks. And in sport, Nigeria delivered a commanding performance at the first ever run archery tournament in Africa, making a bold statement on the continental stage and showcasing the nation's growing strength in Côte d'Ivoire. For contact with the newsroom, please send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. The ends in this broadcast compiled by Abiola Fagbalagun. I am Jamie Dayo Anthony. Many thanks for listening.